First up, Indira Gandhi. Indira Gandhi is the daughter of India's first Prime Minister, Jawaharlal Nehru. She served from 1966 to 1984 and was known for her strong leadership. However, she was also known to bring in controversial policies like the emergency, where civil liberties were suspended. Now, the reason for her assassination is from the Sikh separatist movement. You see, in the 1980s, tensions had grown in the state of Punjab, where Sikh separatists, led by Jarnail Singh Bhindranwale, were demanding an independent state called Khalistan. They did this by violence. So Indira Gandhi ordered Operation Blue Star, a military operation to remove the separatist from the Golden Temple in Amritsar, which is a holy site for those who practice the religion of Sikhism. While the goal of the operation succeeded, it caused anger from the Sikh community due to the destruction it had caused and civilian casualties. Because of this, on October 31, 1984, Indira Gandhi was walking to her garden of her residence at Safdarjung Road, New Delhi, to meet with actor Peter Ustinov, who was there to film a documentary. She was shot by her Sikh bodyguards in retaliation of Operation Blue Star. One of the bodyguards, Bent Singh, had fired 3 shots while Satwant Singh fired 25 rounds using a Sten submachine gun. Indira Gandhi was rushed to the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, but later died. Martin Luther King Jr., also known as MLK, was a leader in civil rights in America for the rights of blacks. He was known to lead nonviolent protests that caused no harm, inspired by Mahatma Gandhi. Martin Luther King was on his way to Memphis to support a strike by African American sanitation workers demanding better working conditions and wages. On the evening of April 4th, Dr. King was standing on the balcony of the Lorraine Motel where he and his team were. This was where he was shot by James Earl Ray, who was a small-time criminal at the time. He killed Martin Luther King with a Remington which was found near the scene. Ray had confessed to the crime and was convicted and sentenced to jail for up to 99 years. However, he tried telling me that he was set up. Despite this, he was still held up by his guilt. After the death of Martin Luther King, it sparked nationwide riots and frustration among the African American community. His death led to the Civil Rights Act of 1968, also known as the Fair Housing Act, which prohibited discrimination. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. remains a symbol of peace, justice, and the fight against racism, which continues to the day. His assassination is regarded as one of the biggest tragedies in American history, and his legacy continues to live on to this day. John F. Kennedy, otherwise known as JFK, was the 35th President of the United States in 1960. He was known to be committed to NASA in their victory in the space race against the Soviet Union. He was also known to handle the Cuban Missile Crisis and was able to successfully negotiate the removal of Soviet missiles from Cuba that could have brought the world to a nuclear war. With all of this being said, it was shocking news when he was assassinated on November 22, 1963. Mr. Kennedy was in Dealey Plaza in Dallas with his wife and Governor Connolly with his wife. They were on a motorcade, which was a roofless limousine making JFK exposed. Then, at approximately 12:30, JFK was shot as they passed the Texas School Book Depository. The motorcade rushed to the Parkland Memorial Hospital, where he died at 1 p.m. After the death of Kennedy, Lyndon B. Johnson, the vice president at the time, was sworn into office as the 36th president. Lee Harvey Oswald, a former U.S. Marine, was the man behind the shots. He was arrested later that day, but died 2 days later by a nightclub owner, Jack Ruby, while in police custody. After his death, it had sparked many conspiracies around his death. Some say there were 2 shooters, others say it was the CIA, as JFK did not support some of their missions in Vietnam at the time. Another theory was it was the Soviets for his hardline stance during the Cuban Missile Crisis. JFK was remembered as a leader who aimed to unite the country and inspire Americans for greatness. He also became a symbol of idealism and hope.